For 11 years I was married to a man named James. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 34 years old and I live in Manchester, England. If you had asked me back then whether I trusted my husband, I would have laughed and said yes without hesitation. James wasn't perfect, neither was I, but we had built a life together. A mortgage, 2 children, weekend trips to the Lake District, Sunday roasts with family. The ordinary things that make a marriage feel permanent. At least that's what I thought. Everything started changing after James got promoted. The promotion meant longer hours, more business trips, more late-night emails. At first I was proud of him. I encouraged him, supported him, told everyone how hard he worked. But slowly something shifted. The man who used to tell me everything became distant. Conversations became shorter. Eye contact became rare. Even his smile felt different. One evening while we were eating dinner, our daughter Sophie asked him a simple question. "Daddy, are you coming to my school play next week?" James barely looked up from his phone. "I'll try." Just 3 words. But I saw the disappointment in her eyes. That night after the children were asleep, I confronted him. "You missed her football match last month." "I know. You missed her birthday lunch." "I was working." "And now the school play?" James sighed heavily. "Emily, I'm doing this for our family." I wanted to believe him. So I did. Months passed. The distance between us grew larger. We were no longer husband and wife. We were roommates raising children. One rainy Thursday evening, James left his laptop open on the dining table before rushing upstairs for a shower. I wasn't snooping. At least that wasn't my intention. Then a message appeared on the screen. A notification. One sentence. "I miss you already. Last night was perfect." My stomach dropped. I stared at the screen. The sender's name was Olivia. A woman from his office. For a moment I couldn't breathe. I kept telling myself there had to be an explanation. A misunderstanding. Something innocent. But deep down I already knew. When James came downstairs I was still sitting there. The laptop was open. The message was visible. His face turned pale instantly. Neither of us spoke. Finally I asked the question. "How long?" His silence gave me the answer. "How long, James?" He sat down slowly. 8 months. 8 months. 8 months of lies. 8 months of pretending. 8 months of kissing me goodbye every morning while loving someone else. I felt physically sick. "Do you love her?" His eyes filled with tears. And then he nodded. That hurt more than the affair itself. Because it meant I had already lost him. The marriage had ended long before I discovered the message. Over the following weeks, our home became unbearable. Every room felt haunted by memories. The children sensed something was wrong. Our son Oliver became quiet. Sophie started asking questions. "Why are you and Daddy always upset?" I never knew how to answer. Then one evening James sat across from me in the kitchen. His voice shook. "I think we need a divorce." Even though I had expected those words, they shattered me. 11 years. Reduced to a single sentence. The divorce process lasted almost a year. It was exhausting. Painful. Expensive. Friends chose sides. Family members shared opinions nobody asked for. Some blamed James. Some blamed me. But the truth was more complicated. Marriages rarely collapse in a single day. They crack slowly, silently, until one day the damage becomes impossible to ignore. After the divorce, James moved in with Olivia. The children spent alternate weekends with him. The house felt empty. The silence was overwhelming. For months I cried myself to sleep. I blamed myself for everything. Maybe I wasn't attractive enough. Maybe I wasn't supportive enough. Maybe I should have fought harder. Those thoughts became constant companions. Then something unexpected happened. One afternoon while cleaning the loft, I found an old box. Inside were photographs from our early years together. Pictures from holidays, birthday celebrations, our wedding day. I looked at the smiling woman in those photographs, and suddenly I realized something. I missed her. Not James. Not the marriage. Her. The woman I used to be. The woman who laughed easily, dreamed boldly, believed in herself. Somewhere during the marriage I had forgotten her. That discovery changed everything. Slowly I began rebuilding my life. I joined a local book club, started exercising again, traveled with friends, took the children on little adventures around the UK. For the first time in years I focused on myself. Not because I hated James, but because I deserved happiness too. 2 years later I received an unexpected phone call. It was James. His relationship with Olivia had ended. He sounded broken, older, regretful. I made the biggest mistake of my life, he said. I listened quietly. Then he asked the question I never expected. Do you think we could ever start again? For a moment I remembered our wedding day. The promises, the dreams, the future we once imagined. Then I looked around my living room, the life I had rebuilt, the strength I had found, and I smiled sadly. No, James. Silence filled the line. Finally I added softly, I forgive you. But forgiveness isn't the same as going back. He started crying. And strangely I didn't. Because the woman who once depended on him no longer existed. That chapter had ended. Not with anger. Not with revenge. But with acceptance. Sometimes the most painful endings become the beginning of something better. And sometimes losing the person you thought you needed is exactly how you find yourself again.